Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consume Cinema. I'm your host, the man with no name, and today we have a first time movie reaction and a movie request for the 2008 film Appaloosa. Just want to thank my friend TRT for putting in this request. This is a movie that has been on my radar for a very long time. I've just never actually gotten around to watching it, so this should be very good. I'm a big fan of Westerns. Unforgiven is a fantastic movie, just through and through. Just an amazing story and just so well done. The Man with No Name trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more. Classic trilogy that, I saw when I was a little kid and just got me hooked on the idea of westerns, for life at that point. Also, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Once Upon a Time in America. Westerns are very, very enjoyable films for me and stuff that I have enjoyed since I was a little kid. Like, I always remember waking up early Saturday morning and watching some westerns on AMC. That was a regular thing when I was a kid. I've heard of the film, I just have never, seen a poster or trailer or anything like that. I don't remember catching it on TV. So yeah, I really know nothing about it other than that it's a western. I don't know who's in it, so we're going into this one 100% blind, which is good. I'm definitely in the mood for a western. When they deliver, they really deliver. So yeah, this should be fun. But as always, please remember to blank, blank, and blank. Channel's doing awesome right now. We are over 4,000 subscribers, which is great. I've launched the Joe Consume Cinema Patreon. Every member of my Patreon gets a guaranteed movie request. We have the first season of The Penguin, the first season of Mr. Robot, and I'm working my way through the rest of Mr. Robot. I'm up to season 2, episode 6, I believe, at this point. Also, I have the second season of the Squid Game up on my Patreon. I enjoyed all three. It's a lot of good reactions in there. I definitely feel it's worth, the $2 per month right there for membership. But even if you can't, afford to do that, you could always join for free. It would still help me out, and I'd still really appreciate it. Any support is always very appreciated. And with that, let's get right to the movie. Oh, know him.
Randall, I'm afraid I gotta take two of you boys back into town with me.
You're outside your jurisdiction, Marshal, and you're trespassing on my land.
They murdered that fellow from Chicago, and then they raped and killed his wife. I'm taking them in.
Jeremy Irons.
No, I can't spare them.
Well, that didn't take long.
First time I met Virgil Cole was when I and my 8-gauge backed him up in a showdown he was having with some drunken mountain men. Virgil asked me right there on the spot if I'd care to partner up with him in his peacekeeping business.
Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen. Pretty good cast so far.
We've been keeping the peace together for the last dozen years or so.
His deputies went up to Bragg's place to arrest the men that murdered Clayton Poston.
Bragg and his men have got us all running scared.
Mr. Cole, Mr. Hitch, we want our town back.
Cole and I'll do the gun work, but we're gonna button the town up tighter than a nun's corset.
Couple of hired guns.
Basically states that whatever Mr. Cole says is law.
This means you'd be running the town.
It does.
We can't have that.
It's Mr. Bragg's men.
Oh, Jesus God.
There's 4 of them. They have guns.
They're desperate enough to sign it. Mr. Cole just became the mayor of Appaloosa.
Sign the damn thing, Abner.
Fellas, I'm the new city marshal. Put it away or lose it.
I ain't shooting, mister.
Give me your gun.
Well, they're for real.
I warned them.
Bragg and his men, some of them were at the jail looking for you, sir.
Get a better view of what's going on sitting right here.
What should we do?
About what?
My name's Randall Bragg.
Virgil Cole.
I know who you are.
What happened to Jack Bell?
Can't help you there, Marshal. You drinking man, Everett?
Not so much.
You shot 3 of my men.
Matter of fact, I only shot 2. Mr. Hitch shot the other one.
Point is, we need to make an arrangement.
There's a set of bylaws posted right outside the door here of this very saloon. Boys do like the bylaws say, everything will be muy bueno.
And if they don't?
I arrest them.
And if they don't go along?
I shoot them. Or Mr. Hitch does. That's the law.
Your law.
The same thing.
Don't be so sure you're quicker than me.
So far, been quick enough.
Perhaps now's not the time. Don't mean there won't be a time. You are an interesting man, Mr. Cole.
Renee Zellweger. Pretty woman usually means trouble in these types of films.
Are you the sheriff around here?
City Marshal.
Allison French.
You have a husband, Mrs. French?
He died. I play the organ and the piano.
You're not a whore. See a lot of single women around here that ain't whores.
Well, I'm one.
Sprightly thing.
Despite the obvious threat, it doesn't seem like they're at all bothered. Love interest is always potential leverage against the hero.
Yeah, up here, you just another cowboy with a gun. We ain't doing nothing wrong, and you ain't got no jurisdiction up here.
Jurisdiction?
I believe he means jurisdiction.
I believe he does, and he's by God right about it.
You knocked my tooth out!
Yeah, well, Colt makes a heavy firearm, that's a fact. Who you riding for?
Bragg.
Think Bragg's attempting to frighten us over it?
Be my guess.
Mr. Bragg ain't gonna like it. He hit me.
I don't guess you liked it all that much yourself, Dean. So you and Mr. Bragg can commit. What word am I trying for?
Commiserate?
You and Mr. Bragg can commiserate each other.
How long have you been killing people for a living?
I don't kill people for a living. I enforce the law. Killing sometimes a sort of side thing to that. Byproduct. Killing sometimes a byproduct.
And you've never killed anyone except as a lawman?
Never.
You know that house that's being built on the east end of South Street? He's gonna sell it to Virgil and me.
Wow, that happened fast.
I ain't armed.
Witness? He saw the killing. They're gonna need more guns.
I was at Bragg's place when Marshal Bill and his deputies was killed. Bragg done it.
You saw Randall Bragg shoot Jack Bell.
Yes, sir.
I'll say what I saw.
Going in the middle of the night, element of surprise. I still say they should get more guns. 5 or 6 more people would be very, very good here. Now, this feels kind of like a boss fight, which is weird because it's very early on in the movie. I'm wondering if this is a trap.
We're under arrest for murder of Jack Bell. Don't make a sound.
Ah, shit. That's not good. Yeah, they've got like a dozen men at least.
Tell them to lower their guns.
Hold offense. Lower your guns.
Tell them not to follow, or I'll blow your jaw off.
Vince!
Yes, sir, Mr. Bragg?
Don't let him follow, you understand?
I don't know if Bragg is like a cattle rancher or what, but he's obviously up to something a lot more sinister than that. So I'm thinking Appaloosa is about to turn into the OK Corral. He's going to send for more men, probably. There's the proof.
You're a dead man.
Unless you're riding at a hard gallop.
I don't care for them kind of disparaging remarks, especially about Allie.
No, and you shouldn't. I apologize.
I like the running gag where he can't find the word and, Viggo Mortensen's character helps him out. It's pretty good.
That will be the bedroom, and this will be the kitchen. Do you think I'm pretty?
What the hell?
You with Virgil.
Virgil's not here.
It's like the last thing we need right now is a rift between the two heroes. I see a rider in the distance, and more riders approaching. Oh shit.
Come for Mr. Bragg.
You can't have him. If anything happens, you blow Mr. Bragg's head off.
We'll kill you and Hitch.
You'll try.
You're willing to die to keep us from taking him.
Sure. You afraid to die?
I ain't afraid.
Good, because you go first. Boy with the red scarf goes next.
Fear is a weapon.
Get out of here!
There'll be another convo.
You gonna say anything?
Virgil couldn't hear anything like that.
Don't even talk about it.
What if she tells him and says it was your doing.
You've been keeping him
Sequestered.
Charlie and I'd be happy to help you out till the trial's over if you need it.
Shelton brothers. They do law work. They do gun work. They're excellent. You still doing that? Well, we ain't.
Lance Henriksen.
What are you and Mackie doing in town? Everybody's got to be somewhere, don't they, Mackie? You got a trial coming up, a big one. Might want to take that in.
2 hired guns do not show up to town just to watch a trial. They're here because somebody paid them.
I haven't done this for a while.
Mr. Bragg shot the deputy dead with his Winchester.
You saw this happen with your own eyes, son.
Yes, sir.
Jack Bell and his deputies never came up to Mr. Bragg's ranch. I don't know what Whitfield's talking about.
That's the same thing all of you have said.
My client has a right to testify in his own defense.
Of course he does. You get on your horse and ride. Ride and don't look back.
Is the judge indicating he's about to rule against them?
Nothing more than a fearful boy, easily persuaded to say anything. It is not justice in this new nation of ours to allow him to deprive me of my liberty. Eloquent, Mr. Bragg, but unconvincing. I find you guilty of these charges.
I like that judge. Now something has to happen in transit, because otherwise we wouldn't have a movie. We're about the halfway point. If there's gonna be an ambush, it's gonna be over this damn bridge. Maybe they even dynamite the fucking bridge. Or jump out from that water tower. Here we go. Oh shit.
Any sign of trouble from anyone and Mackie gives her both barrels. Or she breaks her neck. Whatever happens to her, you're dead. What do you think, Virgil? You think I'm gonna get scared and change my mind? Put your rifle down. You ride off on that train, and when you're out of sight, we'll cut her loose. I'm gonna shoot that son of a bitch. That ain't part of the deal. I told you you'd never hang me, Cole. Never ain't here yet.
Love interest is always a weakness in these types of films.
We've got no horses, Virgil. I'll ride the train back to town and fetch him.
Stone Brothers said they'd cut her loose, but honestly, she's great leverage. Maybe Bragg just decided to keep her. It made, Virgil back down.
Virgil? Virgil, everybody's got feelings.
Feelings get you killed.
You got feelings about Allie, don't you?
It's pretty interesting. It definitely seemed like he was all into her, so maybe the idea of settling down just doesn't appeal to him.
I broke out of San Carlos. Headed down to Mexico.
Shit, things just got interesting. Why haven't they cut her loose at this point? They said they would have. I guess I was right about Bragg wanting to keep her as leverage. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when they run into that group of Indians.
You see Allie anywhere?
What is it?
Did she go willingly with them? Oh shit.
We start shooting, they'll scatter. I wonder how many we are. We'll go.
You too, Allie. Well, we got these hostiles to deal with. Ain't a good idea us shooting each other. I say we put our troubles aside till we get there.
My word.
Give me the guns, Eric.
What the hell?
Mac, you got some clothes in there? Cover Allie up. Good to see you again, Mr. Bragg.
She is not what she seemed, I guess. Shit. They come back with more?
We're gonna wait until all our food's gone.
Shut up!
We're gonna wait until we're all beat down with the heat.
Is he gonna offer his horse in exchange for letting them go?
You taking this personal, Virgil?
stay here, Everett.
Ring protected me, and so did his brother.
You fuck Mackie, too?
No, it was Ring. He was in charge. I just did what I had to do.
Ring kills me. You think she'll go off with him?
I think Allie needs to be with a man.
You're a bastard. Don't listen to him. He tried to put his hands on me when I showed him our house.
Okay. I don't like her.
Everett didn't do that.
You believe him over me.
That's correct. Marshal, Appaloosa. This is my deputy, Everett Hitch. This man here's my prisoner. He's been sentenced to hang in Yaqui for the murder of a city marshal.
By all means, Marshal.
Do they know each other?
2 hours. Stockyards.
But I held her off. Told her we weren't with each other. We were both with you.
She speaks well. She dresses fine. It appears she'll fuck anything ain't guilty.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger's not doing a bad job. I just don't particularly like the character of Allie. It seems a bit out of place, honestly.
Aren't either of you afraid?
Afraid? Guess I don't think about it so much.
Well, I'm afraid. Like being alone. Like being with the wrong man. Not having any money.
Guess you made your first mistake, Virgil. Locking you a prisoner in my cousin Russell's jail.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'll take Ring, you take Mackie, then we'll deal upstairs.
Bragg's still alive. Fuck. No! Get him! Ah, you got the fuck away. That was a pretty realistic shootout, honestly. Everybody got hit, except for Bragg.
Well, that's sort of what we were hired to do, find escaped prisoners.
Rescue damsels in distress.
The only real damage is a visible limp for Virgil, that's about it.
Randall R. Bragg granted full pardon for murder conviction in Yaqui County.
What the fuck? This is interesting because Virgil always talked about him being, a servant of the law. In fact, he said he is the law. My law is the law. And now Bragg has been given a pardon. They're obviously not going to let that shit settle.
This is French. Marshal. Deputy. Bygones be bygones. Bragg, I don't know what kind of deal you worked. But as far as I'm concerned, you murdered Jack Bell. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Do you think he came back here?
To Bragg? There's no way this movie ends with that motherfucker being alive. He's gotta die.
Pardon is real. It's the law.
Never taken the legal side of it too seriously.
I take it serious. What the hell am I if I don't?
It's a part of Virgil's character to believe, he's administering justice. He knows Bragg's guilty, and he can't just let it go. Oh my god, he bought a fucking hotel?
I want you to know I'm not the man I was.
That's bullshit.
I was hoping we could work together once you came to see the truth of my statement.
No fucking way. Once a killer, always a killer.
In the corner.
Oh, of course, it's fucking Allie playing the piano.
Me and Allie got a house here. I'm not leaving.
I stay here, I won't be able to make a living.
She seemed like she was conflicted about it in the moment, but like she said, she's afraid of being alone, not having anyone to provide for her. So she'll always do whatever, leads to that end, it looks like. Virgil's just gonna kill Bragg. He's planning on killing Bragg.
You're a lying, back-shooting, cowardly son of a bitch.
What is this?
I'll be out in the street. Boss has a gun for you.
Oh shit. He's trying to create a situation where he can kill him legally and, claim to self-defense.
Leave it, Virgil. I'm asking you now. Just leave it alone.
honestly put another round in him.
Figured I'd saved Virgil's career as a lawman and given him another chance with Allie. I headed straight into the setting sun and rode west at an easy pace.
Okay, took some time just to gather my thoughts. So that was Appaloosa. Overall was very good. I really enjoyed it. So best performances by Ed Harris as Virgil, Viggo Mortensen as Everett Hitch. I also really like the villain, Jeremy Irons. We know he can play a good villain since the days of Die Hard 3. It was cool seeing Lance Henriksen too. He was pretty good in his, small role. I thought Renee Zellweger did a good job overall, but I did have a problem with the character Allie. She just seems sort of out of place and not really realistic in my opinion. I mean, I understand the reasoning. She said her entire motivation was that she was afraid of being alone, not have anyone to, help her. Given the time period and all that, it makes sense. Just her willingness to, sleep with whoever is the most, domineering male in her presence it just seemed weird and out of place. I did not know that Ed Harris directed the film. Overall, he did a very good job. I thought the style of the direction this is a film that really takes its time. And yeah, it has moments of intense action, but it's very short-lived. It's like the punctuation at the end of a sentence and the in-between is, slowly building the story, establishing these characters and how they all relate to one another. So film starts off with Bragg executing some marshals who have come to take in a couple of his men who are wanted for murder and rape too. He won't even hear of it, and he just says he needs them here. He shoots them mercilessly, no hesitation. Our two heroes, Virgil Cole and Everett Hitch, show up to town, immediately take note of the fact that this is a town that's, overrun with these brigands, these outlaws. Bragg owns like a ranch, but it's clearly just a front for whatever illegal activity he gets up to. They mention at one point that he robs a train. That's where his money comes from, and that's how he establishes his political connections that ultimately lead to his pardon near the end of the film. I thought it was pretty cool how the story played out. You have the capturing of Bragg. There's a trial, and, the witness against him takes the stand. Everything goes flawlessly. The judge convicts. They get on that train to, escort him to the place where he's going to be sentenced to hang. Lance Henriksen plays a hired gun. The Stilton brothers, or whatever their name was, they just randomly show up into town, and I knew right away that there's no way, two gunmen that Ed Harris's character just knows on the spot. There's no way that, two gunmen of that caliber just randomly show up to town to watch a trial, as they say. That's an obvious, lie. They take Allie, who I immediately pointed out as the love interest is usually in these type of movies, a weakness that gets exploited, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I thought the gunfight scenes were really cool. Pretty damn realistic, I would say. They walk over to the two brothers, and all of a sudden, it's clear that the sheriff is like his cousin or whatever, so you immediately see the sheriff pull a gun on them, and Bragg also, out of chains, pull his rifle on them too. And yeah, everybody involved gets shot except for Bragg, but that's because right before the exchange, Ed Harris gives instruction on who he wants shot first, and sure enough, Bragg wasn't one of the ones that they wanted to kill right away. They went after the two brothers because they were the most dangerous. Yeah, it was really a good twist to have the villain reappear. After having secured the pardon, he had ties to the president, and, he shows up back in town, and all of a sudden, he's buying this hotel, turning it into Bragg's, and it's just this slap in the face to our two protagonists, because here's a guy who's a blatant murderer, has gone up against our two heroes multiple times, should have been killed. It's only dumb luck that he managed to get to the end. I knew right away that there was no way this movie was ending without him being killed. I thought Virgil would be the one to do it, but it kind of makes sense how Everett pointed out that the law always seemed, just a pretty dressing for the excuse just to shoot men for a living. Honestly, that's how he put it. And whereas Virgil always took it to heart, like, I've actually believed in the law and, cared about justice and all that. He's actually truly bothered by the fact that Bragg is, walking around. He should be hanged. He's totally guilty of all of it. But because of his money and influence, he's always managed to escape justice. So it was really cool how Everett stepped up, did his friend a solid by killing this guy so he could remain here with Allie, build a life for as long as that holds, basically how he put it. The movie overall was quite good. I don't think it's in my personal top, three of Westerns, I would say. For me, it's still Unforgiven, Once Upon a Time in the West, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I don't think this film is better than any of those three. It's a damn solid film, a good watch. I was just a little bit bothered by the character of Allie. That's the only thing that really bothered me throughout the film. It was a damn good film, don't get me wrong. This is a solid A film, really good Western, but I don't consider it in, like, the top of the heap or whatever. I've heard people say that this is the best Western, and I do not agree with that take. It is a very good film. I don't think it's in the classification of, again, Unforgiven, Once Upon a Time in the West, or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Thanks to TRT for the recommendation again. It was a really good watch. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.